Saturday morning, which is date.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning? It's Sunday morning.
420 Blazer.
Well, we usually do day workouts on Saturday mornings, but we're doing it on Sunday morning this time. So I'm here with Madeline.
Hello.
And we're gonna get a Hyrox circuit in this morning, which is Sunday morning, not Saturday morning, apparently. All right. Okay, we just finished our Sunday morning Hyrox circuit. We did a 800 meter warm-up, easy pace. Then we went into the circuit, which was 800 meters run, 50 air squats, another 800 meter run, 40 meters of lunges, not weighted, another 800 meter run with, what did we do after that?
50 more squats.
Now we did 30 meters of burpee broad jumps or burpee leaps if you're Madeline. Then one more 800 meter run, 50 more air squats, and did like a 400 meter cool down. So feeling good. Cardio is definitely paying off. Coming for Anaheim. All right, so let's talk about my training plan and my training volume plans for the next 4 months-ish. So this is mostly directed towards the triathlon, the San Diego Tri Classic, which will be the first of the 3 races coming up, which is happening in September 13th. So if we break it down by training blocks or training phases, so as you can see, I have 4.5 training blocks. Starting in May. So today is April 26th, and I'm technically in like a sort of base phase, but I'll be finishing that up this month in the next couple of days, and starting into May, which will start our official phase 1, which I'm calling the base block. Phase 2, which will be the build block, which will happen in June, and then the prep block, which will happen in July, the race block, which will happen in August, and the taper block, which will happen in September, which will be essentially a 2-week phase where I'm tapering back volume to prepare for the race itself. So these phases or these months are kind of how I'm going to be dividing up my training plans, my training volume, which I'll show you here in a bit, and help give me guidelines on kind of where I need to be at the end of each block as far as like my physical shape goes, to help ensure that I actually am hitting and will hit my my goals that I have set for the race, which I have yet to share with you guys, but I will in a later video that is on the queue. Let's talk a little bit about my actual training week. So I'll give like an example planner here of what that'll actually look like. If we take a look at the weekly planner, again, this isn't very detailed. This is just showing generally the workouts I'll do and when I'll do them in the day. So Monday in the morning, I'll do an easy run. In the middle of the day, I'll do a strength training day, and then in the evening, I'll do a bike. Tuesday, I'll do another easy run. Midday, I'll do another strength day. PM, the afternoon when I get home from work, I will do a swim workout. Then Wednesday morning would be this tempo run, which would be kind of like a lactate threshold run if you're familiar with that. So essentially what it'll be is kind of like intervals. So like a 1K interval at a higher pace with like a 60-second break, and I'll do like 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of that. I may over time increase the distance that I'm running. So instead of like a 1 kilometer, it'll be maybe like a mile run, a 2-mile run, and we'll do intervals like that. That's just to really test the body. So Wednesday, in the middle of the day, we'll do another strength day. If you're wondering how I can do 3 workouts in a day, I'm very fortunate to have a gym at my work. So my lunch breaks are the gym. So in the middle of the day, I will just go to the gym and do a strength training day. PM on Wednesday will be another bike ride. Thursday will be basically a rest day with, in the mornings, I'll basically do a mobility and recovery day. So I'll either do that here at the apartment or I'll go into the gym and like foam roll, lacrosse ball, Theragun, some light stretching, just kind of giving my body a little bit of a rest, but make sure I'm kind of like an active recovery, if you will. And then the rest of the day, I won't work out in the middle of the day. I won't do anything in the evening. I'll just rest. Friday, another easy run in the morning. Strength training day in the middle of the day, and a PM swim. So Friday PM swims are my favorite. Good way to end the week. I'll go into each of these strength training days too, at some point, but essentially like a pull day, push day, leg day, hypertrophy day, but another video to talk about all my strength training stuff. Saturday. So Saturdays are pretty fluid, but pretty malleable. It's basically depending on what's going on in the day and what I can fit in. So this is an example of a day where I'm basically doing nothing and I'm feeling really good. So we'll do a Hyrox kind of circuit, which it's not really like a full Hyrox. Obviously, we're not doing all of the individual race pieces of the Hyrox, which, again, if you don't know what Hyrox is, I know I haven't gone into the details of that, and we will eventually, but essentially a series of different workouts that you have to do in between running a kilometer. And this is essentially a time for me and Madeline to train together, and we're doing kind of like a circuit workout outside at a park or at the track. Then in the middle of the day, if I have time, I usually like to do like an arm workout or something fun. And then at the end of the day, I'll do my PM bike, which will also be my brick workout. If you don't know what a brick workout is, essentially is you bike some small short distance, generally, doesn't have to be, but it'll be like a short distance, like a couple miles. And then I'll get off the bike immediately to practice my transitions into the run and start running. So it's essentially training you to get your running legs, they call it, after getting off the bike. If you've ever biked long distances and then gotten off the bike to run, you know how absolutely painful it is. And then Sundays, obviously, here's marked as a rest day the whole day. So this is still also a little malleable. I like to have these days where I'm doing absolutely nothing so I can really let my body recover, so I don't get sick like I did this week or injure myself. But there is this swim club that I will be joining this year called One with the Ocean. And essentially what it is a way for me to go out and do some open water swimming and be with a community of other athletes. So that'll be something that I do probably on Sunday mornings. I'm not sure if it'll be every Sunday morning, but that's going to be my ticket into open water swimming. Okay, so there's generally what a whole week will look like, give or take. Again, nothing ever goes as planned. Like this week, I was sick for like half the week and I missed some of these workouts, which is just the way that it is. But that is, if a perfect week happens, that's generally what a perfect week is going to look like. Last but not least, let's talk about how I'm going to manage my volume of training, and also illustrates my version of progressive overloading. So progressive overloading, if you are not familiar, is what it sounds like. You are progressively, so moving forward in time, overloading your body with training volume. And you generally like incrementally increase this, and this is how you build strength, build endurance, and things like that. So you can see we have each of our phases laid out, like I was talking about earlier, which is basically a month or a phase. So phase 1 through 5. And then phases 1 through 4 have 4 weeks, and phase 5 has 2 weeks, because that's my taper month. That's the actual month of the race. And then I have each of the 4 weeks kind of partitioned out and how I'm going to spend that volume. So I essentially labeled these V1 through V5 with increasing volume. So if we talk about phase 1, you can see the first 3 weeks are labeled V2, so a level 2 of volume, which is a little ambiguous, I'm aware, but it's just the best way I can use to describe this. So this first 2 weeks, I'm going to hold pretty much a similar volume of training. Each of those weeks are going to look like the week planner I just showed you with the actual workouts themselves being of volume 2, if you will. And then that last week of the month will be a deloading week. So I'm actually going to decrease volume, still go through all the workouts, but at a less volume. This is a good way to let your body recover and rest while still progressing towards that progressive overload. So phase 2, if you notice, we increase the volume to a volume of 3 for those first 3 weeks of phase 2, and then that deloading week is actually a volume 2. So it's still deloaded compared to the month itself, relative to the month that I'm doing that rest week is a part of, but it's still progressively overloading. It's still increasing in volume. So you can see that pattern in phase 1, a week 4, phase 2, which is week 8, phase 3, week 12, and week 16, which is the deloading week of phase 4. Each of those are actually increasing in volume, but they're relative to the rest of the month, they're actually deloading. So this is the way I'm going to try and ensure that I'm resting and getting my deloading weeks in, but while progressively overloading. And then, of course, the last 2 weeks, those taper weeks, I'm going to deload heavily into basically almost nothing. So those actually last 2 days before the race, I will do nothing. I'll stay completely off of my feet. So hopefully that was not super freaking confusing, which it probably was, but you can always rewind, stop, and look at it. I think it makes sense if you just stare at it, but I also built it, so yeah. Anyways, so that's a little bit about my training plan, the phases I'll be in, what my week will look like, and what the volume is going to look like. So again, I'll try to capture as many workouts as I can to document what I'm actually doing. So yeah, looking forward to starting this prep in a couple days, even though I've been in sort of a base building block already for the past 7 weeks. I'm just kind of getting my body ready and back into things. So yeah, looking forward to it. So let's crush it.